we are going to start division with polynomials. If I can make this focus. There we go. So, looking at division, we've got, this is what we're dividing into, and this is what we're dividing by. So I'm going to rewrite this as a division problem. So x minus 1 going into x squared plus 5x plus 1. So what we'll do is estimate first. So I'm going to ignore this part. And then the question I'm going to ask myself is, what do I multiply this by to get this first answer? What do I multiply this by to get this answer? So I have an x, I need an x squared. So I multiply by x to get this answer. Next question is, what do I do? So I'm going to multiply through this x times both of these and put my answer in the appropriate column. So I've got an x times a negative 1 is a negative x, so I put that in the x column. X times x is x squared, so that goes in the x squared column. And now what do? We subtract, so I change my signs. Change your signs. So when I do that, looking from left to right, x squared minus x squared is no x squareds. If your first term doesn't fall off, you've done something wrong. 5x's plus 1x is 6x's. And then I'm just going to keep carrying across. And now we just do it again. I have an x. I need a 6x. What would I multiply by? I would multiply by positive 6. Take that positive 6 times everything out front and put your answer in the appropriate column. So 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. 6 times x is 6x. And then we subtract, which means we change our signs. So minus and plus, your first term should fall off. If it doesn't, you've done something wrong. 1 plus 6 is 7. So now I've got a remainder. So when I divide this, my answer is going to be x plus 6. And then plus, always put a plus. I don't care if this is negative or not. Put a plus right here. What's your remainder? Your remainder is 7 over what did you divide by? X minus 1. Okay, so that is example 1. Example 2, or B, as the case may be. We've got a 5x squared plus a 10x. And then minus 17. And we're going to divide by x plus 3. So this is what I'm dividing into. This is what I'm dividing by. So what I'm dividing by goes on the outside. So I've got a 5x squared, 10x minus 17. And we're just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to estimate first. I have an x. I need a 5x squared. What do I multiply by? I multiply by 5x. So take that times everything out front. So 5x times 3 is 15x's in the x column. 5x times x is 5x squared in the x squared column. Change your signs because you're subtracting. Your first term should fall off. If it doesn't, you've done something wrong. 10x's minus 15x's is negative 5x's minus 17. Do it again. Estimate first. I have an x. I need a negative 5x. So I'm going to multiply by negative 5 to get this answer. Take negative 5 times everything out front. So negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And now we change our signs because we're actually subtracting. First term fell off. If it doesn't, you did something wrong. Negative 17 plus 15 is negative 2. So my answer for this problem is 5x minus 5 plus negative 2 over x plus 3. Okay? Let's try it again. We've got an x plus 1 going into a negative x squared minus 1. So I'm going to leave a little bit more room. That got crowded. All right, so this is what I'm dividing into. This is what I'm dividing by. So x plus 1 divided into a negative x squared. I'm missing an x term. Whatever goes inside, which is your dividend, whatever goes inside needs to be in descending order with no missing values. I don't care about the outside, I care about the inside. So I'm missing an x term, so I'm going to put a placeholder of no x's. Okay, and then I've got a minus 1. So I have an x. I need a negative x squared. What would I multiply by? I would multiply by a negative x. So take that times everything out front. Negative x times 1 is negative x. Now you see why we needed the placeholder, because I'm subtracting x's from, if I didn't have this, what would I be subtracting it from? Negative x times x is a negative x squared. Change our signs. So no x's plus 1x is x. Okay, do it again. I have an x, I need an x. Well, what do you multiply by? This is your multiplicative identity. If I have something and I need the exact same thing, multiply by 1. So take 1 times itself is 1. 1 times x is x. Then change your signs. So I end up with a negative 2. So I have a remainder again. So what's my answer? My answer is negative x plus 1 plus negative 2 over what you divided by, which is x plus 1. So let's do one more. I have a 9x to the third minus x plus 2 divided by 3x minus 1. So first thing I notice, this is my dividend, this is my divisor. So this is going to go inside, and I'm missing an x squared. So make sure you've got your placeholder. So I have a 3x minus 1 going into a 9x to the third, no x squareds, minus x plus 2. So I need a placeholder for an x squared. I have a 3x. I need a 9x to the third. So I'm going to need a 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And I'm going to need x squared, because I've got an x times x squared will give me that. So I'm estimating first. That gives me a 3x squared. Take that times everything out front. Put your answer in the appropriate column. So 3x squared times negative 1 is a negative 3x squared. 3x squared times 3x is 9x to the third. Change your signs because you're subtracting. So 9x cubed minus 9x cubed is no x cubes. So if your first term doesn't fall off, you've done something wrong. No x squareds plus 3x squareds is 3x squareds. Do it again. I have a 3x, but I need a 3x squared. So how do I get from here to here? I multiply by x. Take that times everything out front. So x times negative 1 is negative x. X times 3x is 3x squared. Change your signs because you're actually subtracting. First term should fall off. If it doesn't, you've done something wrong. Negative x plus x is no x's. That's okay. And then I have a 2. So my final answer is going to be a 3x minus 1 plus my remainder over what I divided by. And that is a good stopping point for this section.